What's good, everybody? It's your boy CG. We're back at CG Productions, and right now I'm just gonna do a video real quick on the changes and upgrades in the studio since my last video. And it's been a lot. First of all, I'm no longer in England. I'm in the old sunny state of AZ, Arizona. I'm in Tucson, Arizona, to be exact. And there's a few different things with this situation now because I own the house that I'm in. So when I show you guys the vocal booth, you'll see what I'm saying. But basically, just to start with a few things, I'm no longer using the iMac. I mean, like, I didn't see the point of it because my laptop was more powerful than my iMac that I had, because it's i7. I've got solid state hard drive and I've maxed out the RAM and all that. So that's what I use as my computer now, my laptop, and plus, like, it makes the travel process seamless. So if I gotta go somewhere, it's not something that I'm unfamiliar with. Like, you know what I mean? I'm used to working on my laptop. I know the power of it. I know everything about it because that's what I use for real. So and I just got a 32-inch TV that I'm using as the main display, and just work everything from there. Another thing is my monitors. I was monitoring through the M-Audio BX88s. Now I'm monitoring through Focal Solo B6. And I mean, I love them, man. Like, there's no over bass, there's no crazy high. Anything that basically in these monitors, anything that stand out in these monitors is something that you need to, you know what I mean, pay attention to, or like something that you need to turn down so your mixes come out just smooth. You know what I mean? You get a good balance through these monitors. Another big thing is, because I kept the NS10s, and so I had to get a monitoring section, and I went with the M-Patch version 2, and it's a passive monitoring system, so it's not supposed to add anything, any coloration or anything to your mix or to the monitors. Still got the Phantom G, though now I really don't even use the Phantom for what you would use it for, because I upgraded to the Complete 9. So I'm using Native Instruments, and everything in there just sounds amazing. Like, I don't know, it's like all the sounds are very inspirational. Also, I have the MPC Renaissance. We'll get to that in a minute. But let's just go across the console here. So this is my monitoring section, and the NS10s and the Focal are hooked up to that. And I mean, this right here, like, it's probably one of the cheaper things, but it's not a cheap, it's not a cheap product. You know what I mean? Like, it's very well built, and it does what it's supposed to do. And it's basically, you can set it up for 2 sets of monitors, and you can do the headphone. You can do headphone monitoring out of it too. Only thing with the headphones is because I've just got some new headphones, and I'll go through that. But I don't think the headphone monitoring in it it's not bad, but it's not where I would like it to be. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mix through that. I would just listen through that. And there's a few things. You can have stereo aux input. That's your input selection. So, like, the stereo selection is basically whatever's coming out of your interface. Aux is like anything that you want to plug in, like a CD player or something like that. You can put it through there. Has a stereo volume knob. They give you 2 of these. This one's just selectable. Like, it has like the clicks in it, and then they got the other one that you can install that it's just a smooth. You just turn it, and it's just, there's no like clicks in it. But I just keep it turned all the way up because I'd rather have my volume control from my converter than from here. And obviously these are your the monitor selections, mute switch, aux volume, and you can also do mono monitoring, and that's your headphone volume right there. The one thing that I found out is that I didn't actually have, it has a plug adapter to it that you can power it and the lights and all that stuff come on, but I found out that I don't actually need that for my monitors. The only thing that's really needed for is the headphone, to power the headphone amp and the lights. And like I said, I wouldn't use the headphone to monitor or to mix any of my music, because I don't think it's that great. Next, of course, is this right here is the amp to the NS10s, and in case you're wondering, this is like, these are the monitors that you see in every studio. Any studio you go to, they're gonna have a set of NS10s. You know what I mean? And they're just like, and they just give you a good reference far as like how it'll sound in the car. You know what I mean? Because they're not that great as a monitor. You know what I mean? You can actually mix in these. It's just I'd rather mix in Focal and then just listen to it through these, because basically if it sounds right through these, then it's gonna sound right in your car. You know what I mean? If you have any and the thing is, one thing I learned about mixing, and if you're listening to something and you got any questions about it, man, it's probably not right. Next is my converter, and I'm using the Lynx Hilo, and right now I've got the LT USB in, and I'm not a big fan of USB. I used before the Lynx, I just went the Firewire, and I was using the 003, but I'm just not a big fan of USB. The only reason I got this, well, one, because it's a great converter, but two is that they've now released a Thunderbolt card for this, and I'll be upgrading to that as soon as it's available to buy. But one of the great things about this converter is that it's touchscreen, and a lot of times, like, and that's another thing, like, a lot of engineers hear touchscreen and they're like, that just sounds like a decrease in quality. But this is, it's one of the best converters I've ever heard or had. You know what I mean? And I really like the touchscreen, because one, it does something that no other interface on the market does. You know what I mean? And like, it makes it so flexible. That means, like, I can give people who's in the vocal booth, you know, a headphone mix, and how if they need the music lower and higher without having to change my monitoring mix, how I need to hear it. You know what I mean? So, like, they can hear it the way they want, and I can hear it the way I want, and it's just simple. And also, I'm just, you know, looking at some of the things that they're going to be releasing this year, 2014, from the NAMM show, and one of them's, they're upgrading the software in it, and they're also making it to where, like, you can control it from your iPad or iOS device, and just like the mixing system, and also obviously the Thunderbolt is coming out with it. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm interested in seeing how different it's going to be with the Thunderbolt than the USB, because I'd rather go through Thunderbolt since it's faster anyway. Hopefully it's going to be a little bit more stable and be able to handle a little more as well. But overall, and this is what I use to actually, you know, for my headphones, because the whole thing through and through is reference monitoring, so you can do mixing, mastering, everything. The other thing is the headphones I like to get into real quick, and these are the Focal Spirit Pros. And just to have some initial comments about it, when I first took it out, I wasn't, just the feel of it, I wasn't that impressed, like, you know what I mean, because I was thinking, like, they have like these let me focus here, because they have like these texture, it's like textured on the headphones, but I thought it was like aluminum or something, but it's really just like plastic. But don't let that discourage you, or think that's, you know, affects the grade of the quality. Really what you're getting, like, I mean, what you're looking for is how it sounds. And that's where, you know what I mean, I was really impressed, because I was asking like my sales engineer, you know, everything about, you know, how they sound, and basically they sound almost the exact same as my Solo 6s. Like, how, because I was just doing a little bit of mixing in them today, and the way that my mix sounds, you know, and the things that I would do in my headphone is the same thing. Like, you know, I know there's times before, like when I would do like a headphone mix, and then I get it into my monitors, and then it's like, oh, this needs to be changed and that needs to be changed. But it sounds, they're so close that like when I listen to it through the monitor, there's nothing for me to change. Like I can have the same confidence in my headphones as I do the monitors. And like I've even, like, you know, done the little volume test of, like, you know, just set both of them at the same volume and put the headphones on and then took them off, and like it's the same sound, you know what I mean? But the headphones, they actually allow you to really hear that mid range, so that you can, you know, make the right adjustments on it. But yeah, overall, like I've had music, and these require break-in as well. You have to break these in, like you have to play music through them for an hour. Like I've been playing music through these headphones for about 36 hours, and that's straight. I just put on YouTube playlists and made it repeat, and I've just left them for like a day or so, and yeah, and like now they sound really, really good. Like, and like I said, and it's the same thing with these monitors. Like, I think they say it's like a 48-hour break-in period, but I think it takes a little bit more for the monitors, because for the longest time, and I mean, I think it may have been some of the positioning I had, because I did have it like back behind on these stands back here, and I had my NS10s over here on these stands, and then I just moved the NS10s there and then put those on the stands, on the stands, because like what I was getting was, like, I was feeling like I needed to have a sub. I still would like to get a sub. Because they have the sub to, you know, like to complete the focal monitoring system. But since I've been, like, I've had them now. When did I get these? I've had them for at least 2 or 3 months, I believe, and now like they're really, really broken in. You know what I mean? Obviously, 2 or 3 months, that's a lot of music that's gone through them, and like I've noticed that I've not been feeling the same as where, like, I felt like, oh man, I need a sub, and it's just a break-in period. You know what I mean? Like, you really have to break them in to get the, you know, the full range of the sound. But and it's the same thing with the headphones, because it's a smaller driver. You know what I mean? You know, it's less time for breaking it in. But next, obviously, is the old Millennia Media STT1 Origin, and if I haven't told you guys before, this is actually one of Ozzy Osbourne's personal preamps that I acquired while I was in England, and I love it, man. Like, this has been my go-to thing. One of the things was too, like, because it's been my go-to, I've had to because I travel sometimes, that I've had to, like, learn how to get my sound, you know, a sound that I like with just using plugins without having a preamp. You know what I mean? So that's the thing too. If you have a preamp and you trust that, you rely on that preamp a lot, you know what I mean? One thing is to have a set of find your set of plugins that you like to use to get that sound too, because with me, That's a $4,000 preamp. I would hate to be dragging it from country to country, state to state. Because when I was in England, I flew over here to Vegas, and the way that they handled my the fragile sign doesn't mean anything to these people who are loading your baggage and luggage and stuff, man. Like, so you can't. I wouldn't. It's got tubes and stuff in it. I just would not want to drag that around the country, man, or anywhere. I'd rather just leave it where it is. So I was like, oh man, I should have a mobile setup and all that. But speaking of that too, and I mean, like, I was gonna be going to another country, and I was gonna be going to Italy, but no, I'm not going. But I was gonna get a mobile setup, and the mobile setup was gonna consist of the I believe it's Focusrite Forte. I was gonna have the Focusrite Forte. I just got these headphones in like a few days ago, and those were in it. And also I was getting what else was I getting? The MPC Studio. And that was gonna be my mobile setup, because man, like, the more you get into audio, the more you learn that, like, you can get the same sound that that you've been getting. Sometimes it takes a little bit more work. And I just really try not to constrain, just have myself depending on the hardware that I have here at the studio. I want to be able to get the same sound anywhere that I go. So that's another thing with going with the plugins and getting the sound from some of the plugins. Another thing that I've added is the MPC Renaissance. And I mean, like, this is my first MPC, and I love the sound. Like, I love everything about the Renaissance, man. It's just how I like to make music. It's just how it does it for me. I can, I like hitting the pads. I like, I like the responsiveness of the pads, and it's just like, it's a quick workflow, and for me, I have to have that. Like, cause the way I was doing a lot of it from the Phantom, and it was just, for me, doing things in the Phantom just became a little bit too slow for me, and I was losing, like, sometimes it was messing with some of my creativeness, the way that I had to do things. And but having the Renaissance definitely changed a lot, and it's like sampling, like, and learning more. The more you learn about it, man, like, people, if you haven't used the MPC and you don't know what you can do with it, man, like, the Akai, they've got a big range of MPCs now, and from what I could see, all of them look like they're very useful. I know that there was, like, the old controllers that they had were like the black one. It was black and it had the pads on it, and it just looked really, really cheap. But like, everything that I've seen so far that they've come out with, I believe, like, last year, it all looks really, really good and looks useful, and it looks solid. And I've actually held the studio, and the studio is really thin, and at the same time, it still feels really, really solid. But yeah, like, the stuff that you can create with an MPC is just, it's crazy. Like, just especially like with, because I got vinyls and stuff like that, and I like to, sample some of the vinyls and just chopping things up, like, just like, especially like if it has some like little drums or whatever, you can chop it up and there's no issue with matching it to the tempo, and like, it does a lot of this stuff like automatically, so like, well, not automatically, but there are settings to do all that stuff, and it's quick. All of it's quick. It's a very, very quick process, and you can, fine tune everything. As far as like, that's basically it for the control area of this. I'm still using Pro Tools. Like, I know when I began, like, I was using Logic a lot, and Logic is, I believe Logic is a great DAW, but Pro Tools is just so simple, and it does exactly what I want, that's what I've been up sticking with. And like, and a lot of people are on Pro Tools, so it's just easy, especially if you're changing sessions and stuff like that. Like, it's just easy to switch sessions when you're running Pro Tools, because that's what most people are using, and that's really still, I feel like, one of the industry standards is Pro Tools. You know what I mean? Like, most things go through Pro Tools. You know what I mean? So that's the end of that. Now let's get to the vocal booth. Well, actually, one more thing is like just the room acoustics. One of the things that I've just been blessed to have been able to get my hands on are these panels, and these panels just help me to set up a room quick, like. And this is a new house, so like there's not a lot of issues in this room. You know what I mean? There are a few things that I still want to do, but it's nothing major that I need to do right now. You know what I mean? And like it's a comfortable sized room, but it's not a huge room to where, like, I don't know, I've got to put a bunch of crazy acoustic, treatment in here to contain the sound. Like it's like I said, it's a new house, so it's very well insulated and there's no issues with it. Yeah, so that's it for that. And like, this is just, my panels, and they're really I don't know what to call them. Like they're like the office partitions that you get, but they control the room very, very, very well, and I can shape it however I want. So now to the vocal booth. Now we're gonna go from the outside in on this. This was a closet, and for this house, this is I guess you would call the spare bedroom, but it had a huge closet for a spare bedroom. Like, it's bigger than a lot of people's main main bedroom closet. Which obviously the main bedroom I have is way bigger than that. But anyways, so I took down the doors and I put in a sliding glass door. One of the issues with this is finding a sliding glass door this size, because I think most sliding glass doors are like 7 foot or something like that, and I think this one's like 5 foot something, I don't know, but anyway, it's a smaller door than what you usually get, and it was pretty cheap. It was about, I think, like $350 for the door, and I've done all this work myself, so like I installed it and everything. I still got a few things to do, like putting some molding around that so it doesn't look like I installed it. But one of the things is, it's just there weren't a lot of choices. It was really just this door, and they were talking about, I mean, I got it from Lowe's, and like they're saying, oh, we can make a custom size, and I felt like, yeah, custom size sounds like more money. But the thing is, only thing with that is the panes of glass were a lot, by being cheap, they're really, really thin. So what I've done to kind of like, to help out the sound containing the sound is like, because when you're in there and you're talking or whatever, without, you see there's these black things on the window. Without these on there, it just you can hear that glass. You can just hear it. Ooh, you can hear the sound getting trapped in that glass. So if you think about sound, sound needs an even path to travel. If there's any like breaks in that path, then it breaks up the sound, you know what I mean, and it spreads. It just gets lesser and lesser really, really quick. So what I done was I put these rubber mats on that, and they're actually for to control vibration in like walls and stuff like that. And but what I done is like I just off balanced the glass. So if you think about it, like it can't really spread out. It can't really spread out the way that it won't spread out evenly, because once, like, say the sound hits here, what's gonna happen is it's gonna draw to this black mat quicker, and that is gonna allow it not to vibrate as much. So like the sound's just gonna dissipate a lot quicker than it would if it were just plain glass. So I've done that on the outside glasses, on the outside of the door, and on the inside. So there's 2 on the outside, 2 on the inside, and I've just put them at different levels to throw the balance of the glass off, and it makes it sound a lot more solid. You see, like if you listen to it, like when I tap it, it doesn't really have a long vibration period. Like it dies really quick. But so now into the booth. All right. I didn't want to do like the typical home studio booth, because I don't consider my studio a home studio. Like I feel like, I mean, it's at my house, but I still got a professional sound. The thing is I didn't want to fill this up with acoustic foam like every studio. I had, you know, a little bit more money to put into the and really it didn't even, building this probably cost me, I don't know, probably about $700 to build it, like to build it the way that I've done it now, and everything that's in it I've done myself. Like I've done everything. First of all, this was a white closet. Everything was just like, it was just this color here. So obviously I come in and I painted it, and it's, I don't know if you can really see it on the camera, but it's kind of this like reddish black mix that I've done. And I mean, like that's, I don't know, that's just, I like the look of it. I mean, it kind of like makes it feel like a vocal booth when you walk into it, because it's just that color change, and it's not like you don't feel like you're in a closet. But coming in here, like I treated everything with wood instead of acoustic foam, and there is some in here, but it's placed differently. And the thing was, like, I wasn't trying to make this soundproof by any means. I was just trying to control the sound in the booth. So like I was just toning the booth. So it's just like, I don't know, a guitar. Like I've just put wood in here to control the sound in the booth. And I feel like I've done a pretty good job, because I've never built a booth this way. If you watch my other videos, they've all, you know, I kind of evolved in how I've done things. But basically these panels here, they've got like wood slats in them to kind of diffuse the sound some, and then at the same time behind this, and this is like a 3-inch, it's a 3-inch panel. And behind that it has 2-inch foam, so when it goes back there, it also, like, you know, traps some of the bass and some of the it still, you know, absorbs some of the sound. And like I've angled some of the pieces to kind of deflect the sound, and there's a specific type of wood. Like I called around to like a studio that I seen that had the same, you know, treatment done in it, but it's done differently, obviously, but it's still the same concept. And it's all about like wood density. It's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but I basically got this specific wood for my vocal booth, and all of everything that's up that you see is like, I put it to where like there's rubber at the end of them, so they're not actually touching the walls, and that they don't vibrate a lot. You know what I mean? So like to control some of the vibration, and I've also put like some padding behind it to control some of the vibration, so that it doesn't have that resonating tone in it. And it is pretty soundproof, but that wasn't like my goal or my intention. Like my intention was to have a good sounding booth, and that's it. You know what I mean? I feel like that I accomplished that. So I put like a diffuser, the same thing that's on the wall here. I put that up there. I've had to put some more foam up. I did put some foam up here, because like that was giving me some in that little slot there, I was getting some resonance. And but for the most part, like, I love how this booth sounds, and the louder you get in this booth, the more controlled the sound is. So like if you got somebody who sings really loud or whatever, like the sound is like really like, it's really controlled. The mics that I have now, I did have the TLM 103, but now I have the U87, so I ended up getting rid of the 103 because I didn't need it anymore. And also I still got the Peluso, which since I had the U87, it hasn't gotten a lot of use, but it's still I won't get rid of this though, because like I mean like the U87 is a great mic, but you know it may be just something I want to do different on the track, and this mic has a different sound to it than the U87. But I do really like the sound from the U87. I like my opinions of the U87. I think it's kind of overpriced for what it is. It is a great mic, and it's really natural, and it sounds like, you know, it sounds really, it's really flat response and everything, and it basically captures whatever, you know, it captures the sound, it replicates the sound, you know, really good. But I kind of think it's overpriced comparing it to, like, you know, some of the other mics. It's just a great sounding mic. Is basically it. You know what I mean? But I got this one off of eBay. I actually went and picked it up in person though. But I normally this mic would cost, I think, $3,500 brand new, and I ended up paying $2,000. So, but I mean, it was worth it though, because I mean, obviously people who, you know, hear, oh, he's got a U87 kind of thing, like that attracts business and stuff like that. And like I say, at the same time, it's still a great mic, and there's nothing at all wrong with it. But and I'm still using the same Stedman Pro Filter Pro Screen, and I mean that's basically it, man. Like, I still got some things to do to the vocal booth that I ain't really had time to do yet, but and it's really just cosmetic stuff. There's nothing to do as far as affecting the sound. But this is it, man. CG Productions, Arizona, Tucson, Arizona. And I mean, really, this is gonna be my last stop as far as studios, because I mean, like I said, I own this house and I don't plan on moving. So that's it. If y'all got any questions or anything, comments, let me know. And I'll try, like, I'm working on my album now, and I'm trying to drop that around July sometime, and it's called Zone of My Own, What Dreams Are Made Of. So I'll probably be doing some video sessions, some sessions where I'm recording, and then post that up so you guys can see. And like I say, if you have any questions or any comments or whatever, just let me know, get at me, and CG Productions, and I'm out.